So yeah, this is the official podcast of the Chilled Kongs Grapevine Podcast. Tonight we're going to go over a few things. We're going to go over the new roadmap that just dropped. We're going to talk about the wise ones. My fellow wise ones over here, who we are, how we got here, what we're doing, and just have some chill vibes. We'll bring some people up. We'll answer some questions, and we'll generally just have a good time. So, if you haven't yet, I would really recommend everybody go and check out the roadmap that was put out. Go through the facts. The frequently asked questions are kind of a little bit more like a roadmap. They answer a lot of questions for you, and the coding that's for the last question there that can be decoded binary and has a very interesting message from the Benefactor in it. We'll go over that. But yeah, I would like to introduce, some of the other wise ones up here. We got 60, we got the Last Starfighter, we got a couple more down in the audience. Avocado is here with us. Zachros is down there with us. So, other guys, if you're up here, if you want to say hello, please, say hello to the audience.
Hey everyone, this is 60. I appreciate the opportunity to speak. It's been an exciting past few days, I think, especially with all the information coming out. So we figured it would be a great opportunity to introduce ourselves, let you know who's behind the mask of the PFPs and the name, and just kind of begin and kickstart a new start to the project. I think that's what we're all excited about.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I know the Kongs have gone through a whole lot. I myself have not been around from the beginning, but I've been a part of Epic Labs since we uncovered them just over a year ago, and it's pretty exciting that they've had the opportunity to take over the Kongs and give it a rebirth. And if you have a look at the image that we've been given for the roadmap, there's definitely a big theme of rebirth hidden back there. There's a lot of things hidden in that image that are already link up to something that's actually on the written roadmap, and there's a lot of stuff that's hidden in there that's for the community to come together and unlock. And we're going to go through it. We'll point out a few of those things. Each of us have been working down a different avenue, searching this image to see what we can find, and try to get the community involved, because the only way Epic Labs projects move forward is by having the community involved. If the community really supports the project, we really support the community, vice versa. We're all going to grow together.
Yeah, it's one of the huge clues as to pretty much all the riddles so far that we've found and uncovered across Epic Labs is community is key, right? It seems like it always leads back to that, and honesty and integrity, as well as problem solving, right? We got to solve the riddles. But when the roadmap came out, I was looking at the image and thinking to myself, like, oh man, I'm not bad at riddles, right? I spent like an hour and a half staring at the image. I downloaded the image. I zoomed into it as much as you could. Oh, I was thinking, man, I'm so smart. I got to this place. This has to be the answer. And by the time I start, looking into what other people found, I was like, man, I'm like 30 steps behind right now. Like, I'm not good at this.
Let's take a step back and actually, talk about what a lot of the community is looking for right now, because anybody who's not actually in the Discord and actually hasn't read through the frequently asked questions or seen the roadmap yet kind of doesn't know what we're looking at. So on the either in the Discord or on the website, wherever you can get a good image of the roadmap, down in the lower right hand corner there's a little flyer, and on the flyer there's a website. It's missing 404, and if you go to that website, there are 7 fields to enter along with an address, which is the idea is that we're probably going to be unlocking something for the community. And whoever, if somebody gets it right, they're expected to have some sort of prize, dropped into their wallet. So, people are sort of frantically, and methodically, looking through the images, trying to figure out what it is that we're trying to put into those 7 fields to either get into this website or figure out what that prize is. So 60, what are some of the things that you've found so far?
Yeah, so I was looking at the albums there, right? I thought it was interesting that there's 7 inputs on the website, 7 albums at the top of the image. Each of the albums representative of a different, I don't want to say different era, but lots of different types of music and plays on words. And I figured it had to do with the album titles or the bands themselves, and there's some connection there. So that's as far as I got until I pretty much fell asleep at my computer. It was pretty late at night for me. But I just think it's really incredible how this is such a unique approach to a white paper, right? We've got the FAQs, which answers a lot of the questions that most communities have about a project and the roadmap. And then you mix that with the unknowns, the riddles of an image and where that can lead you. But you have to work together as a community to continue to not just learn more about the project, but potentially unlock more about the project as time goes on. I think it's really unique, really exciting. And I don't know if I've seen other projects do it like that.
No, there's certainly not that many out there. I know we've come across a few projects out there that have come out with some puzzles, for their initial grind, to get the whitelist. I know there's a handful out there, that still throw a puzzle in there once in a while to get the community engaged. But to have your entire project, the ones that you're building from the ground up, and any that you're acquiring along the way, to sort of be written in this fashion is truly unique. Something we come across with the Benefactor pretty frequently is that he's building a decentralized project, and we throw that word around a lot, and we're in the world of decentralization. But for the most part, a lot of these projects still sort of start with the idea that, that there's a CEO and there's a trickle down effect of, responsibilities and, and return in the process. This project hits a little different. We all started as, very active members of other communities. And the Benefactor saw certain aspects about us that he wanted to bring us together, so that we could sort of help build it as a group. And we're constantly adding to the group and adding more to the group. And as this project goes, and as other projects continue to get added on and built, the people behind it will. There'll be more people added behind it as well. So there's opportunities out there to just be part of the community, or there's opportunities out there that actually can get you a little closer to behind the scenes and be a bigger part of the project building.
For sure.
So.
For sure. Starfighter, we haven't heard from you yet. I want to hear your voice, man.
Good afternoon, everybody. Hope everything's going well. Yeah, I'm an Epic Labs implant to the Chill Kongs family, and it's good to be here. Y'all are fire starters, that's for sure. But coming from ground control into the new formatted communities is becoming pretty much a factor of life for all of us now. We get the information given and we roll with it and adapt. And, when the roadmaps come out, when the information is there, the frequently asked questions are there, you can start piecing the puzzles together, see what you're looking forward to, see what's on the horizon. And this Chill Kongs project is, like I said, it's going to be the fire starter. So it definitely has the intrigue and the capability to just take our space to the next level and bring the Cardano ecosystem together to really work for something better and something that hasn't existed yet, which is, that metaverse of bringing all projects into this one community. And that's our goal, is bring that positivity, that energy, and everything we got and give it to the communities and see what happens, and let the communities rise and do that thing, basically solve our puzzles, figure out our code.
So, of everything we've been given here at the Chilled Kong Starfighter, what are you most excited about so far?
Oh, well, I think the first and foremost, obviously, is figuring out what the correlation is between missing 404 and the actual roadmap image itself. Being able to see what it is, and the correlations. You got the chakras that have their own set of instructions on the chill vibe, the mind, body, and soul. And now we got braille that matches the colors, and we got albums that match the colors. So we're trying to figure out how these pieces fit together to be able to input that seven code cipher that unlocks whatever it is we're meant to unlock.
Yeah, for sure. There's a lot of patterns that are found in that roadmap, and we're trying to put them all together and see what we're going to get. It's very exciting. These puzzles always stir up a lot of activity. They have the few of them that we've had over at Epic Labs. They've always stirred up some activity, and it's really nice to see Kong people, new and old, coming back. People coming back together to share this little fire we're lighting under here, and to come back to the community and get things going again. I've noticed that we've had a lot of new members come in, just starting their Kongs collection. They're very excited to see what we're doing here. I'm very excited about what we're doing here. It's been an amazing journey, getting to this point, working with these people, working with the Benefactor, Lord Tavali, the comedian that is Metacog in our server. It's a bunch of great people, and I love working with all you guys, the rest of the wise ones out there. We've had a great time in this journey, and we're now here to share it with the Kongs as well.
Yeah, agreed. It's been a learning experience and a learning curve for me as well. I came into the NFT space a few years ago, and I think my view on each of the communities, on the outlook of not just the NFT space, but crypto as a whole, has evolved drastically, especially seeing projects, be born and then kind of live their life, whether it's short or long, and then either die or evolve. And you start to see patterns. You start to see the good actors versus, the ones that are just out to try to get kind of like a flash fire of excitement and money, and then it just kind of fizzes away. So being a part of a community and a part of a project that really is intending to do the right thing, I think is extremely refreshing, considering how much toxicity the NFT space as a whole attracts. It's sometimes really tough to be in NFTs, but I'm trying to evolve my mindset outside of just the NFT itself and looking at that bigger picture. And the transition for the new team taking over Kongs has been extremely difficult for a lot of reasons. Not so much for the transition itself, but for the community, I think, to see that transition occur. So I think it's great to have these new roots, this new start, this new outlook, and push forward. And eventually that toxicity is going to melt away, because toxicity cannot attach itself to things that aren't toxic. They can try, but that just kind of naturally falls away over time. So it's good to watch the evolution. It's good to see Kongtober kind of come, and do the thing, right? It was good to see that the announcements and everything come out in the timely fashion as it was promised. Again, lots of projects kick that down the road. They don't meet deadlines. So all of this so far is really exciting stuff. And we're really hoping to, turn that new leaf of what this project is and what it means. And again, I'm honored to be a part of it.
So we got somebody requesting to speak here. I'm trying to get him up. Let's see. Get them up here. See if they can. All right. Hey, good evening, Dominate. Go ahead. What can we answer for you?
Yeah, and I have a question. So I used to be part of the actual Discord community for a very, very long time since Kong's minted and stuff. But one of my questions I have, because I know that there's been updates to the roadmap, ordinals being obsolete. My question is, for the community members who did keep just an ordinal Kong to still be part of the community, but since those are obsolete now, technically they wouldn't be part of the community anymore. Is there something that is being looked into when it comes to that specific detail?
So yes, actually. So just after them saying that they're going to be obsolete, if you do hold on to them, they will be tradable for another asset down the road. So they're always trying to be inclusive of the people who have participated in these communities in the past. But what they came across with the Kongs was just really an oversaturation of assets. And that's what sort of prompted them to put the cap on the MKs. And they're really trying to consolidate, but the people that went out of their way to get the the real special assets for Kongs, the team's still trying to look out for them and give them something to work with, for their participation, because we don't want to completely ostracize anybody from the community, especially somebody that's held something like that for such a long time.
Hey,
so I hope that answers the question.
If I could jump in for a second here.
Yep.
In the FAQs, and regarding to the ordinal Kongs, correct? That's the one we're talking about.
Yeah.
All right. So we got guidance. So although created with magic mushrooms, they were originally airdropped for free. Anyone who holds one of the 207 ordinal Kongs can create a support ticket in the Chilled Kongs Discord, in which they will be sent the Chilled Kongs Bitcoin address to send their ordinals to. Once they have done this, a redeemable token will be sent to their Cardano wallet address, which they can be exchanged for a Kong garage part on the Chilled Kongs website at a later date. So hope that answers the question.
Yeah, that's good, and I appreciate it. Because, for example, for me, I've held Kongs for a very long time, and I used to be extremely active in the Discord. I was number 2 ranked in there, and stuff like that. So, and it's just a concern I had. It's not just for me, but like for other individuals as well.
Yeah, it sounds like the Benefactor took those 207 into account and recognized, the importance of even though it's prior to the acquisition, he does his best to take care of the community. And, it sounds like you are an integral part of everything that the Chilled Kongs stand for. So we hope to see you back in the Discord soon. And I'm glad we were able to answer that question and make sure that there's no Kong left behind, so to speak.
I appreciate the answers. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, you're welcome. And hopefully, like Starfighter said, hope to see you back in the community. We'd love to anybody that's ever gone anywhere and wants to come back, you're welcome back. It's not it's not an ostracizing place. We're very welcome. There's we're talking all the time. We're available to talk all the time. Metacong's got his wise comments. We all know about him, but he's very fun to converse with as well. And So, we have all these community channels down there people can reach out in. We have mental health channels, the physical health channels. An interesting little snippet that we got the other day is that because FarmBot is an integral part of these discords as well, a lot of these channels are going to be connected, which is going to be interesting. He's got a tool in that FarmBot that will actually be able to allow chatting between servers. Whereas all those channels seem very overwhelming now, it's going to be very interesting to see when they actually connect to all of Epic Lab servers and act as a single conversation across them. It's a really nifty feature they've been working on, and it's going to be cool to see that implemented. So a few of the other things that we're really looking forward to, that we're still not through volume 1 of the roadmap, what they call natural selection. So we're looking forward to, the Constitution, which is the white paper release. That should be, fairly soon. But quite honestly, the FAQs, between the FAQs and the roadmap, it's a pretty complete outline of, where this project is planning on going, what the Benefactor is planning on doing for us, or at least making available for us to the community. We're going to get some tokenomics. We have today officially the first release of the Grapevine Podcast. There's going to be a new native token that's going to be coming here. We're going to release the congregation, which will be the stake pool. And, the project's eventually going to get the new non-custodial staking platform, which is, currently being tested in, one of Epic Lab's other projects, the CNFT Vault. They were given staking not too long ago. And it's been going through its little trials, and we've been doing testing, and, we're expecting to see it pop up in the other projects any day now, but as with everything Epic Labs, everything gets done, perfectly before it gets released to the masses.
One thing I wanted to add quick to what you said, I'm involved in a lot of Discords. I really like a lot of the communities and the relationships I've built, and I've heard, concerns about the takeover, concerns about, the Benefactor at large, and I've tried to really understand where other people are coming from. One of the things I had heard as a complaint, which I actually made me think for a second, I wonder why that's a complaint. So how each of the Discords for the Epic Labs projects are, in their words, copy and paste. And I was sitting there thinking about that in more detail. And I think having continuity between projects makes for grease on the wheels. It makes things a little bit easier to navigate. You're familiar from one project to another. And like you said, there likely will be continuity in terms of some of the chats from one Discord to another. I don't know that for certain, but that's really where it sounds like it's headed. And just so everyone knows, we don't know everything, right? We're here more as, you could say, community leaders. We don't have a big peek behind the curtain as to exactly what's happening, but from everything we can tell, the continuity of the Discords is actually going to help things. It's going to make things easier, more clear. So if anything, it's a positive. And if people do have genuine concerns about that, I think it would be important for us to know and understand, because again, we are a community. We want this to be helpful for everybody.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we're the wise ones there. We're sort of, yeah. I mean, we're really meant to sort of guide the community along, and help it sustain itself. There's been a few people that have been involved in this latest scavenger hunt with us. And, we've been involved with Epic Labs for a while, so we have our channels there. And a few of us, had gotten together. We started formulating some interesting theories over in there. And then we're like, you know what? We realized this is, part of the Chilled Kongs, project. So let's bring what we found over here into the Chilled Kongs and get them included. Because it's proven itself time and time again that the more eyes are on these puzzles, the better. Each one gets a little bit more intricate. Each one, takes a little bit more skill set to figure out. And so it's really a community push to get everything going in here.
And on the note of the Discords, the different channels in the Discord, I feel like there's little Easter eggs in the sense that each Discord server for the labs has like a unique perspective. So like the Kongs have the sports bar and the showcase, and the Panda Society has the Panda Records. So I'm wondering if there's going to be a little more context to that so that you have more understanding of the project's production. So what is the project going to offer on top of the utility? So having real world capital coming in from what is the project itself is going to be a very intriguing aspect. So I'm excited to see what each project is going to bring to the table to create this metaverse and fluid ecosystem so that all the projects flow integrated with one another. It's going to be quite exciting.
Yeah, for sure. We're all very excited to see how how everything is going to interconnect with itself. We've had a lot of community members come into the Kongs and ask us about Epic Labs specifically, and we tell them you're experiencing it right here. This is what it is. We're given opportunities, and it's up to us to make the most of them. So it's very, very exciting. So 60, why don't we and Starfighter, why don't we and we have Avocado here. Avocado, do you want to say anything? You're up here as speaker. You want to say hello to the crowd? Maybe not. All right.
Hey, good morning.
Hey, good morning, man.
You hear me?
How are you? Yeah, we hear you.
Good. All right, on. Yeah, just early morning here, so just been listening in, and awesome to have Dominate back in the Discord, just following along there. Yeah, I'll give a little bit about myself. So yeah, I remember meeting BCB in a couple projects before Epoch Lab came out. I know it's kind of weird, but saying like just having some small interactions with him in the Discords, it kind of like hit different. I knew that he was kind of someone I wanted to interact with and follow along. So when I heard that he had Epoch Lab coming out, instantly that was something I wanted to be a part of. And then that kind of started the journey along with you guys, kind of heading down the rabbit hole per se. And it's pretty cool to see him when he took over the Chilled Kongs. I had never been a part of that community or group. So I, of course, came over and followed there, and am now a wise one here in this group as well, for better or worse. But it's been pretty cool to see what, like, people that spend the time, if you want the ability to grow in the space, he really gives that opportunity for people to put in what they want. And like, for example, sometimes it just takes a little bit of effort here, but on a part, like even the FAQ that he just dropped, he's got that little binary code here. So for those that aren't in the Discord, I'll read this one out and then I'll pass off the mic. But so in the binary one, it's got: the only advice that could be given on the matter is to imagine what would happen if someone in this space just did the right thing for once, for the sole purpose of actually doing right by others. What if you knew beyond a reasonable doubt that you could put your full trust in that same someone to create, develop, and deliver, regardless of economical climate or adversary. What would happen if that same someone wrote an open letter? Head over to Epoch Labs IO, Benefactor letter, if you guys want to read that, to the Web3 world, predicting everything that was going to happen before it did. Not only proving to the world that premonitions and paradoxes are real, but if one possessed the ability to perceive them beyond profit, how would they proceed in life? What would they want? What would they do? You would be surprised what exists in the world. All you have to do is pay attention. What is hidden in the new chilled Kong's roadmap, although life-changing, is but a mere fraction of the benefactor's philanthropy. Always remember, nobody cares until everybody cares, and by then, it's already too late. I really do enjoy the kind of the two key things he keeps saying is that paying attention or play attention, and community is key. So it does take all of us, and as you guys were mentioning before about trying to figure out the roadmap, people figuring out pieces and putting them together with each other, I think is really helping to put in some connections with each other, that we're able to trust each other with even some of that information to help somebody solve this.
That's spot on. 100% agreed. And, you know, that again, that just brings into play the benefactor's, his perspective, which seems to be we as individuals will never reach our top, our peak. We can't do it because for some reason mankind is limited by what we put around ourselves. So once we can separate and work together as a collective, once again, bringing that community is key, and we pay attention, you have a collective of individuals, all for the same purpose, all with the same goal of just wanting that lifestyle to where we can let our guard down, where we can breathe easy, we can hang out and listen to music, have conversations about life, and work for the betterment, and try to just deflect as much of that unnecessary stressor of life that you know can drag us down. So bringing us together, getting us to work together, it seems to be the number one play. And in all of the puzzles and this entire concept that has been constructed around us, you know, you have the Ready Player One references, the Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory references. Like, these are all valid points when you look at the core value for each of us to work together to produce that product that's just the top of the line. We want everyone to come to us for seeking advice, for seeking knowledge, that wisdom, that ability to persevere any and every obstacle that comes in our way, simply because we can do it together. And I think that's his goal. And tragically, it seems that much of his life has been attempting to find that. So him facilitating that for us is that legacy that he wants to leave behind. And that's my take on it. And that's how I feel I am drawn to these projects and blessed to be a wise one and a part of the ground control is I'm ready to roll. Like, I want as best I can to impart any knowledge I can to anyone to be better. And it's simple, you know, life is complicated, but the principle is simple. You know, no matter what religion, no matter what belief system, do right by others, and it's a high probability you'll surround yourself with a bunch of people that do right by others, and those who do not will be easily recognizable and cast out by their own actions. We wouldn't even need to do anything. So that's the core, at the heart of, I think, what the Benefactor wants is us to become a community rooted in that spirit and that love of just wanting to be better. So that is well done, Avocado, bringing that in and translating that for us, for all the ones that are not in the Discord and haven't been to the website to see where we're at and what we're up against, because you listening right now may be the one to break that code. You may be the one that brings us to the next level. So always remember, that's what we are. Play attention. Community is key, and each of us will carry one another to that promised land. I don't believe in wind moon. I'm terrified of space, so I'm just going to call it the promised land.
I love it. I love it. Yeah. I will say, Starfighter, you've definitely earned the title of wise one more than most of us. A lot of the interactions I have with you, I'm like, man, guy makes me think, and I'm already really introspective. Also, Avocado, if you all don't know about him, he's pretty much a mod in every server I've been to. That guy's been around forever. I hope you guys are learning a little bit about us as people too, because we're just like you. We're a part of the community, and you're a part of us. So it's always good for us to understand who we're talking to. We're not just words on a screen, right? We're humans with our own thoughts and conclusions, and I think we all work better as a whole.
And if I may, please, 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 I implore you, whether it's via Discord or website, read the FAQs. Just go through it. It'll answer so many questions that may be burning inside you right now that we haven't touched on or we haven't been able to speak about because it hasn't been brought up. So remember that all of the information that we seek is available. And we're glad to pass that on. If you have a question, we'll do the legwork for you. So bring it to our attention and we'll do the best we can to always pay that forward. So the resource of us is available to all of you.
Jim, brought you in, buddy. How's it going?
You there, Jim?
Yeah, we can't hear you if you're talking, man. Just so you know.
No, I think he's not working right now. No, try dropping down and coming back up, Jim. We're not hearing you. So why don't we point out some other interesting things on this roadmap aside from just all this color connection we've been doing. He puts a lot of hidden things in here, as far as what's on the roadmap. You got a surfboard, over the right, property of the Concordia Beach Resort. Well, that's interesting. What's the Concordia Beach Resort? So that's interesting. So in volume 2, the road not taken. Release Concordia for tourists, onboard third-party approved projects, allowing them to stake and earn native tokens. Well, that's pretty cool. So down the line, that's a lot of projects that are out there that are trying to make it open for other projects to get in on their ecosystem as well. So that's really cool. The Kongs will be opening up their ecosystem for other people as well. So that's really interesting. I like that. I like bringing, more communities in together to see, to enjoy, also down in the right-hand corner, property of the Jungle Gym is written on, on the dumbbells down by down by that missing flyer poster. So what's the Jungle Gym? Let's go over here. Let's see what we can find about the Jungle Gym. And we got Jem trying to come up again. Let's see if we can get him up here. There he is. So where is the Jungle Gym? Where is the Jungle Gym? That's interesting. I don't see the Jungle Gym down here right now. But you know what? I'm sure it's going to be something, and maybe something that we're going to have to unlock somewhere in the future. That's not here for us yet. Might be one of the bonus tracks. So, Jim, can you hear us? Can you speak now? Can we hear you?
Yeah, let's try this. I had to switch devices.
There we go.
Sorry, guys. All good. We're
Gotcha.
here now.
Welcome.
Thanks. I'm glad to be here. I'm glad we've got some people tuning in and listening and giving us a chance to speak up, I guess. So for anybody who doesn't know who I am, people call me Jay or Jem. I can neither confirm nor deny any relationship to the store in the roadmap. I'm just going to let that fly out there. I initially joined the space with the Smooth Yetis, and I'm a whale over there, and I met BCB in there. Interestingly enough, I reached out in a DM to BCB saying, hey, I'm suffering right now, and I want to be part of something bigger. Because the previous decade of my life was some military service, and I came out of it a little bit busted up. And I got into the space because I was looking for something bigger than myself to just put some energy into, to be interested in, to express some creativity, throw some ideas around, see if I could contribute somehow. And so that's actually what got me into the position I'm in right now. And I wanted to roll off the back of 60 and Starfighter, and Avocado actually, and talk a little bit about what I see going on here again. I'm not necessarily a degen totally at heart. I'm not really here for the flip and the bags and the floor pump and everything, but I like to watch and think, and sometimes I see stuff, and sometimes I think I'm a little bit nuts, but every once in a while people say, hey, you know what, that's actually a smart thing you saw, so I keep doing it. Anyways, this whole blockchain thing where we can get everybody together and do precisely what was very well articulated by Starfighter is like build this community of connections where the theme is basically just helping each other, and the ability of the technology to connect people across the world, across, you know, countries, states, nations, whatever, is I think a little bit more powerful than we're necessarily giving it credit for at this point, right? Because so Chili Kong server pops up, BCB takes over the projects. He makes this like street team, and everybody's throwing in their countries and stuff. I threw my city in there too, and I think in pretty short order here, I don't know if it's going to be within a year or two, they're going to be mailing us stuff to be walking around handing out. And what I'm thinking is going to happen is like, okay, so we get a package that has some hats and some stickers in it, and we walk around or go to some events, and it's like, hey, have you ever heard of, you know, Chili Kongs? Have you ever heard of NFTs? Have you ever heard of blockchain? Are you a little bit dissatisfied with what's going on in your country right now? Would you like to be a part of a group that just does stuff that's nice? Would you like to be a part of a group that just, you know, supports each other no matter where you are? You can just show up, just join a Discord server. It's as easy as that, right? And I think, to me, honestly, that's way more important than how much money I'm going to make selling a Kong sometime down the road, if that ever happens, or, you know, selling Yetis or flipping or whatever. I really think that I can only speak for myself, but what got me into the space initially was the dream, the prospect, because, you know, one of my bosses made something like 500 million because he was mining Ethereum from the very beginning and Bitcoin on his laptop from the very beginning. So he retired immediately, and I was like, holy shit. You know, if I retired with that kind of money, what would I do? Well, I'd start projects that I thought accomplished good things. That's basically it. You know, that's the bottom line. What can I do with all these assets? What good can I do in the world? And if I was in BCB's position, I'd probably be doing something exactly like this. I'm not that creative, you know, I'm not a good writer. I wouldn't be doing it by myself, but if I had the assets, I'd be hiring people to create something that is historical in scale, and also moving the world towards something that's better than what we've got, honestly. And I'm rambling a bit, but let's bring it back. So basically, I joined the space looking for something that was an outlet and something to do good. And what I've noticed in the space is that it's sort of a cloistered group of people. You know, we've got our projects, we've got the same roughly same number of people. I don't know how many it is, honestly. Maybe it's 10,000, maybe it's 15,000, maybe it's less or more. But we have so far this year in the bear market had a tendency to really be like looking inward with the negativity, being pointing fingers and being like, oh, you people failed. Look how much money I lost. I shouldn't have trusted you. You didn't do the right things. Here's all the ideas that I have about what you should have done differently. And basically just pulling threads. And I think, honestly, that's an expression of the discomfort and negativity that we're all feeling because, bear market's stressful. And that's okay. But what I'd like to point out is that not a lot of people are asking, okay, what can I do to make this community a little bit more powerful myself? Right? Because we're all waiting. We're all saying, when? When are you going to build this structure that's going to provide wealth to me, provide value to me? And I'm over here thinking, okay, what can I do? What can we do? And so I just wanted to throw out here that if we can take any aspect of any of these projects and get somebody who's not at all knowledgeable about crypto or NFTs or anything like that, interested in the community, interested in the puzzles, interested in the art, it doesn't matter. Maybe you buy them a hat or something and they like that hat, and then eventually they show up and they're not a crypto person and they're not a degen and they're not here to flip floors and they're just hanging around. Once we can break outside of that wall that is surrounding our community currently, the scale is really, if you want to think about it this way, the scale is really what's going to pump the floor. But also, I think more importantly, the scale is really what's going to turn us into a force for something in the world. So I just wanted to close with, if you take anything away from this, try to reach outside of our current community with that energy that we've got. A lot of energy from the bear market, some negativity. If we can turn that into something that's beneficial and adds, like, try to add one person to the community. And if you do that, if you add one person to the community, you have honestly helped everybody more than almost everyone in the space. Thanks.
Yeah, that's good stuff, Jem. I will say I've always admired a lot of your insights, over time, and I'm not just saying that it's true, but one of the things that I saw in the comments, I think it was from Bobcat, in the comments of this particular spaces, has to do with, what are we talking about? What are you guys going to do to address the floor? And I think that if we just think about floor price, if we just think about the NFTs and the value, like Jem was saying, and focus more on what is this project going to do for me, and more of a demand mentality or entitlement mentality, I think we're missing the whole point. In the military, specifically snipers, and please correct me if I'm wrong, you military guys, but this is what I was told. The mantra is slow is smooth and smooth is fast, right? You can't really accomplish anything great, or very rarely can you accomplish anything great and lasting in a very short period of time without proper planning, proper foundation, a community that believes in what you're doing, rather than a community attaching themselves to you so that you can ride them to the top, and then they get off at the top and the community or the project or the company crashes into the floor and everyone took their profits and now they're on to the next, right? We all know the whole pump and dump type of mentality. That is the antithesis of what we're trying to do here and accomplish here. We're looking at how do we impact people's lives? How do we bring a lasting project, something with dynamics to it, different pieces that other people can be attracted to and have fun with and solve, and just be a part of something, right? Other communities, it's not like other communities aren't trying to do this, but our approach, I think, is much deeper. And you'll find that the wise ones, it's weird calling, including myself in the title of a wise one. Anyway, we're not coming at this from that mindset, right? We appreciate what each person brings to the table, the diversity of thought, diversity of experience, and we learn from each other. And that value alone is incredible, but it builds a foundation for something greater. As time goes on, that only strengthens And as time goes on, you're not just going to dump a project that you really do feel like you're investing your time and thought and emotion into. So when you talk about floor price, I would invite you to tell me of a better, more sustainable way to bring value to a project than that.
Yeah, I would like to add too that, I personally feel that, the floor price of a project is a direct reflection on what the community feels the project is worth, you know. So for somebody like the Benefactor to come in and want to, give this community a second chance, give this, the ability for, a rebirth, which is a very heavy theme on this image for our roadmap. He's providing us a platform. He's providing us, some activity to come together as a community. He's giving us reasons to actually create relationships. And if the community values the relationships, and they value, what the project leaders are putting out there on the table for them, then they're going to decide that, the project itself has more value. And in time they will bring up the floor price. We'll all bring it up together. So I brought up Mopar, so I would love to hear your question. Go ahead.
Hi team, I'm driving, so I do apologise if the car's a little bit noisy. Congratulations on your first base and taking the time to come up and talk to the community. Just a question, Chilcongs is about community, and I just want to know why BCB maybe hasn't reached out to the original community or the whales or, these people. I'm into Chilcongs. These people have been in the space for quite some time and are quite influential. It feels like to me it would have given you, if you sort of had caressed the old community, it sort of would have given you a bit of a leg up marketing wise. I just feel like BCB wanted to start with a clean slate, which seems, a tough road, and I have no doubt that you will make some traction. But I just feel like if he had have spoken, or the key team members had have spoken to the whales and involved them and a little bit more, maybe it might be a little bit more ahead of where it is now.
And that's very possible. From a business perspective, you never really know what to expect when new ownership comes in. But the one thing that I think I could touch on is, and this is just from my experience in life, new owners in the business world, as far as the traditional, like we are used to, whether it's a storefront in downtown, whether it's a food truck on the corner of Elm and Fourth, like whatever it is, advertising and bringing in new is just as important as keeping the base that maybe the business had already established. But at the same time, recognizing if we as individuals were going to, let's say, buy a entity like a coffee shop, and my goal is to turn that coffee shop into a coffee shop / bookstore. I'm not trying to alienate those that came for their coffee. I am trying my best to integrate that previous business model into my new business model. But at the same time, I'm not limiting myself to the singular of just coffee. I'm now expanding to a larger base, creating books, creating authors, creating conversations, and expanding it. So I think from a traditional business model, we expect new owners to present themselves to Elon Musk taking over Twitter and turning it into X, like making a presence every single day and interacting every single day. But in a decentralized blockchain environment, BCB has in theory every right to remain anonymous and maintain that sense of identity freedom, because that's kind of what decentralization is about, moving away from the traditional and moving into the new. So again, I'm not saying he's trying to alienate you and the whales and the best of the community previous, but I think we just need to recognize that our brand is going to be built with us moving forward. We're not going to have that flagship flag bearer of a benefactor. We're just going to have the Wizard of Oz behind that curtain, and they're just going to facilitate us being able to reach our goals and destinations. And I think hopefully that kind of answers, without answering, because I don't want to speak for BCB. But I think the principle is to remain anonymous whilst trying to give us the reins of our own identity.
Yeah, I think though that it doesn't have to be BCB that reaches out. It can be the core team that have taken on the project. But look, I come from a global marketing company. I think with a marketing head, I think that ADA isn't huge. We only have 500 active traders a day, and I think that everyone needs to be treated as a customer. When you were talking about, expanding your coffee shop and stuff, we're only in a town of 500 active traders. So I think that all those people really need to be thought of. And I just really think it would have given you guys a leg up and some credibility without having to start back right at the start. So, yeah, look, it's just my marketing brain. And it'd be really good, just as a side note, episode 2, if there was some Kong PFPs on stage. I think that'd go a long way too. But congratulations, guys. I will be definitely tuning in. So it's every Monday for me, driving to work. So it's an easy listen.
Sure. We appreciate the insights too. At the end of the day, I don't think any of us wanted to make anyone feel alienated or not listened to. And I think it would be wise to make a ridiculous pun, to maybe have some of the whales come together and talk to us or talk to the community and say, as a productive conversation, this is some of our input, or this is what we would have liked to see outside of the toxicity, because people have their emotions, but nothing gets solved if we come at this from a toxic standpoint. And unfortunately, I think that's what we've seen a lot of with community members, previous community members, just because they felt slighted or they felt like, they weren't considered. And I don't think that was necessarily intentional, but it was a byproduct. You're not wrong. So from a marketing standpoint, I think you have a lot more experience than I think any of us on stage here. But I really don't know the marketing background of BCB and his team, because he does have a team he's working with. But again, I think it's important for us to hear these things and to use them as building blocks, and kind of work from there, because I don't want anyone to feel like they don't have a voice.
Well said. Thank you. I'm heading into the office, but I'll keep listening.
Cheers.
Have a wonderful day.
Thank
at
you for
work.
joining us.
If you can on a Monday.
Welcome back, Dominate.
Yeah, sorry. I was trying to figure out the whole verification and stuff for the Chilled Kongs link and stuff to get back in the Discord. I just came up because I just wanted to give a shout out to Mopar, because Mopar was, one of the OG Kongs back in the day. Whenever Kongs minted and stuff, and she's she's a great member of the community, not just in Cogs, but just in the entire space of Cardano as well. I would say, she's one of many valued members in the OG community and stuff for sure.
You legend.
I love it. And that's the point here, right? We want voices who have experience, who have wisdom, especially experience in things that matter to the project. If we're working together as a community to bring our heads together, our experiences, our skill sets, think about how much more we can accomplish instead of the old Spider-Man, everyone's pointing at each other with finger guns. Like, that doesn't help. We have to come together. And I think we're so used to this space being toxic. We make the wrong move, we get blasted everywhere, and we might even lose our credibility, whether it's because we made a mistake or we took the wrong fork in the road. Not that it was evil or bad, it was just not what people wanted. So I think it's much better and productive if we can work together. And I think that is one of the top 3 points of everything we've said today. One of the top 3 points of Epic Labs as a whole and BCB is that we want to work together. So any sort of conversations that are happening to where people feel like they're not being heard, I think as long as we're having a conversation that is respectful, I think everyone's going to be heard. My 2 cents.
Thanks for speaking there, Mopar. I just wanted to respond a little bit. I think that it's a tricky decision there to come into a community and balance respecting what I'm going to air quotes as elders in the community. Because I think there's a lot of true value, especially hearing Dominate do a shout out like that to you. So clearly there's a relationship there. You guys have been around long enough. You guys know each other. You guys think something positive about each other. And that's really what I love to hear, right? However, the flip side of it is what has been common in the space. And the reason this is common in the space is because it's common in our society, is that the people who have the most things get special treatment. And I suspect that, personally, I'd like to get away from that. And I kind of suspect that this is an aspect that a lot of people might agree with. I own a ton of Smooth Yetis. And even though it would feel nice for, Keeper over at that project to come over and say, hey, Jem, you own like a significant portion of the project. What would you like me to do? I actually don't want him to do that, because the fact that I was able to buy a bunch of Yetis then allows me to dictate what is going to happen to the rest of the people in the project. It does not sit well with me. And I think that the idea here with the clean slate is that, everybody who owns their Kongs and everybody who owns the number of Kongs that they wanted to buy, nobody's ever going to take that away from them or you. I own a couple, and that's because I was never interested in Kongs before Epic Labs got to it. And I may purchase more if the art speaks to me, but like the number of Kongs that I own is never going to be about anything more than what I feel like I want in terms of the art or the asset. But I would really like to emphasize that the opportunity and the roadmap, the ability to form communities, to speak, to get to know each other, that's an equal opportunity no matter how many Kongs you have. So I'd encourage everybody to be open, be honest. If you're feeling one way, come out in the chat and be like, hey guys, I'm feeling like this because of these reasons. Like, is this accurate? Can we change something? I'd like to feel at home here. Let's have a chat, Thanks for talking.
And to add, Jim, we can do that here too. That's part of what we want to do here as well. As long as we're having constructive conversations in our Twitter spaces as well, we want our community to come up and voice their opinions and voice their concerns in a respectable fashion. So On that note, anybody who does want to come up and have questions, or just have a chat or voice concerns on what's going on, we've been accepting you guys all along through the space, and we would love to have you guys come up and hear you.
One thing I do want to say is that there's a so back in the day, whenever I was extremely active in the Kongs Discord and stuff, and a whole bunch of other people, one of the main things that I think uh, a lot of people, if not almost everybody, right, agrees, is that the Chilled Kong art, like, it's just really, really good. The IP on it is it's great, right? And whenever we see the IP, we feel like the IP could be used for so much more. It is, we've all, like, especially me, right? I've always seen as the Chilled Kong art as the Basie of Cardano. And I mean, I would even say, I mean, it's just a lot better. And throughout the years and stuff, from seeing, certain things happen previously and stuff like that, it was like disappointment because we knew, or I felt that the art could go so much further and can be utilized in such a better way if if deadlines were met and things like that.
Well, this is a different team now. I certainly can probably speak for all the wise ones along with me. This is these guys handle things in a much more professional manner, and I think they display that very well. With how the FAQs are written, with how our new roadmap is listed out. I personally understand that there's still sort of this hidden mentality of the trust me bro kind of way. And people don't want to hear that. And it's, it's understandable because, I don't necessarily know who's on the other side of the screen. I don't necessarily know who's on the other side of the phone. And be that as it may, I can't necessarily, convince you that you want to be a part of any particular project. But like I was saying, I firmly believe that they display any information that you need to make the informed decision for yourself. And I'm going to kick it back to when you guys were the OGs. I understand. We all understand and we all feel for you. You went through a lot of heartache with things not being delivered. And just in my experience of working with the Benefactor for, just over a year now, everything that I have expected out of it has been delivered. So I have the confidence that he will continue to show faith, to show faith in the project, to build the project, and really to give the support that anything he's throwing his heart and his money into.
And if I could jump in real quick, I'm gonna. I don't mean to interrupt you there, Bojang. We know you got your hand up, but right quick, I'm gonna jump into the FAQs again as a direct answer for what Dominate is talking about. So right here in the FAQs, is the Chilled Kongs project more than a PFP project? To answer that question directly, yes. Since its acquisition by Epic Labs, Chilled Kongs has become a lot more than a PFP project and has been completely revamped from the ground up. It is now committed to promoting blockchain technology via online IRL initiatives, IRL being in real life, along with operating as a DeFi project, in which all of its utilities run harmoniously through its inclusive interactive ecosystem known as Kong Island. Although Kong Island is its own independent sustainable ecosystem developed by Epic Labs, it is a part of the Epic Labs meta multiverse, making it interoperable, which provides the entire ecosystem with cross-connectability, allowing for the use of assets and commerce between other Epoch Labs civilizations. This means that Kong Island can access a wider range of resources and markets, which can help it to weather economic downturns and other challenges. Additionally, this will allow Kong Island to attract new residents and businesses, which can further contribute to its sustainability and longevity. So I hope that kind of, from the frequently asked questions, is a direct answer to what you can look forward to. So according to what has been released and the information we have, we're definitely more than an art project, more than a PFP, and we're going to be moving probably exponentially quicker than we are going to expect in the near future once the wheels really start turning. So I hope that helps answer a little bit of that question.
All right. On that, Bojang, go ahead and ask your question, please.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for first of all, thanks for having me up. I'm a huge fan of chilled Kongs. It's it is the OG. Like it is the reason why I came over to Cardano from Ethereum a couple of years ago. I mean, it's been that project since day one, I think, and I know that there's been issues, but I mean, I think especially now in the bear, like everybody that's in the space still has that place in that like in their heart of chilled Kongs. I mean, it's such a amazing collection. So I just wanted to say that and give you guys tons of props for just making it through it, and like let's keep going. Let's keep doing this. I mean, we have to, as a community, like like you guys were saying earlier, come together and figure out how to make this stuff work and build for the other 99% of the world that isn't into this yet. I mean, there's just so much opportunity out there for us, and it's just inspiring, and we're right there. We're getting ready to go on another bull run. And so, just cheers to everybody in the space. I think it's a good time to be an ape or a Kong. It's a good time. So
I just want to jump on the back of what you were saying, Bojang. I think you're absolutely right. I think, Kongs is one of those OG projects. It was the first ape. And, if it just stayed as PFP art, that would have been enough for us, because it was all about the community, hanging out in the Discord. And I think that's why reaching out to those key people, the originals, is really key to kicking this off again.
I hate to say this, but this is something that is important for everyone to recognize, and that's that the key people you're referencing are the key people that previously were a part of a project that did not succeed here. So we're trying to integrate everybody so that every single holder, whether you have one, none, or 500, is equal and their voice is heard and they have a place to stand amongst all of us. That's kind of the goal, is to remove that hierarchy system so that we're all even.
Yeah, I don't ever. I'm a rebuttal that. I don't ever think it was a hierarchy system at all. Before, because I wasn't. I'll say this. I wasn't even a whale. But I mean, I was treated as equal, just like with everybody else. Others did things for the community. I did things for the community, and we never saw like one's above the other. It's always been about community, regardless. That's how I see Chill Kongs in my eyes, especially going through a year and a half, maybe even more, going back and forth with negativity in the space at the time. trying to protect the community for the most part from what people call FUD.
So then let's move forward from that. Like today forward. What's past is past. Let's put our feet on the ground together, see what's ahead of us, and move on. So whatever team that was is gone. Whatever environment that was no longer exists. We are now moving forward to what's new and exciting, and none of us really understand what it is yet, but we're going to roll with it until it happens, because that's why we're together. That's why we're a community. So let's see what happens. Let's put our feet down and our heads up and work together.
I do think that recognizing what Mopar and Dominate are talking about is really important, though. Is this thing working again?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
thanks.
man.
I just want to reiterate what I was trying to say last time I spoke, which is that there's sort of the two sides of it, right? The part where there wasn't a hierarchy, you guys are a powerful original set of people who came together just for the sake of the community, the PFP, the conversation, the hangout. That is, I 100% respect that, and I want to acknowledge that, and I want to acknowledge you, Kongs, the originals, which I am not one of, and invite you to bring that forward, because that is the foundation of what I think the new team is trying to accomplish. And the conversation about who's a whale, who owns more things, who gets more attention, who gets to say things that affect the team or direct any of that, that's the part that I was saying, hey, can we maybe consider knocking that off? And I want to transition a little bit now and just do a little bit of a thought experiment in terms of going back to the interactive ecosystems in Kong Island, and also going back to what Dominic was saying about IP. BCB has been consistently saying things like, if you own the asset, the IP is yours. And they say they're doing work in the background to ensure that. And I think that's extremely important to recognize because, for example, let's say we've got 1,000 Kongs, and I mean individuals, not PFPs. And we all know Dominate, and Dominate decides that he wants to make Kong hats and sell them. We can foot that because we know him, and we know he's part of the community, and he owns the IP on his Kongs, and he has every right to do that, and we can foot that, and he can start his business and do exactly what he thinks is right with that business based on the Kong IP. And something that's a little bit deeper than that and more interesting in my eyes is that let's pretend for a moment that Kong Island or a similar structure ends up being a nonprofit. And the purpose of that nonprofit in our broader society is to facilitate individuals who want to start businesses that do the right thing. Any one of us who takes our Kong IP and starts a business, whether it's a food truck on the corner or selling hats, or maybe it's like an education institute, I don't know. If we make contributions from the profit of our businesses towards this nonprofit, which is the central hub of the wheel of the society, we basically reduce our tax to the government and then give our money to a community of people that we know and like and trust to do the right thing. And we can cause that to snowball. Just wanted to throw that out there.
So just to kind of touch on that, you mentioned in real life, focus, and you also mentioned the merch focus for a couple of the Kongs who are trying to do in real life business products, and this has been a conversation that I've been having with a couple of other communities and trying to figure out what we can do as Cardano as a whole, as a community, to really do bring outside money to the ecosystem, right? So in real life stuff can do that. Whether we're onboarding people, whether they're paying in crypto, like as long as it's coming into these businesses, then we're bringing money back into Cardano in a constructive way. That's not just, you know, it doesn't require them to have that, you know, a understanding of what these PFPs are. You know, it takes a while for the average layman to understand that these things aren't just PFPs, right? They're not just, it's not just about community. It's about like opportunity. I mean, there's so much opportunity in this space. And so to, you know, the people that are here and that have stuck around in the bear, they understand that there's opportunity here. And, you know, some of us understand it for like, you know, the appreciation of the cost of, you know, things. And we're trying to like speculate. Some of us think of it as IP rights. Some of us think about it as governance. Some of us think about it as retail or e-commerce or however, you know, whatever financial vehicle. There's so many different ways that you can interpret that freedom, right? But I think it's a really important thing when you're kind of in this position as a community to like think about all of those different directions that you could empower your community, like all the different ways that we can work together with other communities, Block Owls or Clays or all of these old, you know, these other OG communities that have been around, that have made it through the bear. They've done, you know, their communities have stuck around. They're still showing up, you know. I mean, I think the funny thing is like if you look down at this list of people in this space, I mean, it's not a bunch of Chilled Kong PFPs, right? But everybody in here is very, very, very familiar with Chilled Kongs because of the status of Chilled Kongs. And so that can be leveraged, right? So we, in some sense, we know what can be in other people's wallets, but just because they don't have that as their PFP doesn't mean that that's not something that is part of their community too, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I wanted to add there too. When you talk about businesses, and I think there's a lot of bleed over into how we think about a traditional corporation, corporate structure, marketing, and then, you know, overlaying that the NFT space and the crypto space, which is pretty much a new frontier, where a lot of those ideas can be implemented, but we have the opportunity to change the way things are done because the structure of the business is different. So in this case, right, if you were to start your own business, right, with outside of the crypto space, let's say you had a good idea, whatever it is, it could even be a simple one like I want to make t-shirts. Well, you have to go out, learn SEO, you have to find your audience, create it, unless you're already a part of something. And what this gives us the opportunity to do is we already are a part of something. We already have thousands of people in the Discord. If you were to start a business using anything to do with your, you know, Chilled Kong, you already have a base of people to start with, right? That already puts you in a better position. So like you said, when you're talking about opportunity, and I'm not saying everyone should just go tap into the community and try to tap everyone out. My point is there is true opportunity. It's not just the idea of an opportunity. It's there, laid at your feet. And if you have a good enough idea, it will take off, especially if it has to do with something that everyone in the community loves, which is Kongs. So I think there's a lot of avenues to go, even if you were to be selfish and take advantage of opportunities within the community itself.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree with you on that. I don't want to jump in front of TB though. You got your hand up.
Go ahead, TB.
I just wanted to correct something because you had said there wasn't a lot of PFPs, that maybe they weren't Kong holders, but if you actually scroll down and you read the names of some of these individuals down here, some of these guys that don't have Kong PFPs were actually some of the most diehard individuals in that community. I think if anyone is down here in this space, they support the shit out of you guys. And I think we are the ones that have kind of carried the torch for this community. I think the ones that are not here are the ones that have been flooding this community. You know, kind of the heads on Twitter, if you want to call them that. So I think, you know, if you're here, you're definitely in support. I just wanted to kind of correct that.
Yeah, no,
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
That's what I was saying. Yeah, that's what I was saying. I was trying to make the point that just because they don't have that as their PFP, you don't really know what's in their wallet, right? It's like Capital One, I mean, what's in your wallet? There's so many different people that have come through this. Well, yeah, and so there's representation, and there's also like personal preference, and like what how you feel, what represents you best, and whatever it is, like that also fluctuates, right? Like you might be a seasonal PFP person, whatever it is. A lot of people that haven't like fully built their brand kind of rotate through PFPs. Like if you have a brand, then you're more likely to stick around with the same PFP. But beyond that, just kind of to what Starfighter was saying, like there's two different ways to think about in real life business in this space. The first way is exactly right. Like, so we have an e-commerce brand. We actually have 5 e-commerce brands personally. And the hardest part is like what you said, you have to start from zero with SEO. You have to like build a brand. You have to like find a product that resonates with people. Once you build a small community, then you can grow it from there and, continue to find new products that meet other niches and stuff. And we're all really lucky to have a group that wants to see not only, the Kongs succeed, but we want ADA to succeed. And beyond that, we want crypto to succeed, right? So, I mean, we all have a very base common thread that separates us from the other 99% of the people. And so when there's that much opportunity out there, I mean, you could pretty much Google most businesses right now, and they're not represented. And, Web3 yet. There might be somebody working on it, but it's probably not functional yet, right? So there's still so much opportunity, and that's inspiring. That's an amazing thing to like let it hit you in the face and just be like, okay, yeah, like let's do this. Let's make something happen. And so, that's just a really important thing for us to all think about before we get really deep into this bear. And there's 1,000x people in here, and it gets watered down. And there's, we have an opportunity now, I think.
And I just want to give a shout out to TB. He's another OG homie and stuff like that. I know he was working on a comic that had a Kong in it, utilizing his IP and stuff. He's a great dude.
That's awesome.
Yeah, the comic's done. I just gotta probably go back to the artist and have him make me a bunch of covers. Is all I'm doing.
Yeah, you've been working on it for a long time.
Yeah, I've had it done for it'll be 2 years in like probably the next 90 days. I just I had an idea for the covers, and like nobody really understood my vision. And then I kind of started speaking with a team, a separate team than Kong's. They were gonna help me finish it, but they have some public relations issues really bad right now. So I told them until they clear that up, I can't work with them. So I'm just kind of still dreaming what I'm gonna do.
And TB, like I would really love to talk to you like offline about your comic and how you want to, leverage that. Like there might be some other opportunities. I'd love to work with you.
Yeah, for sure. Shoot me a DM because I'm really busy, and that way I remember who you are, and I would love to speak to you.
This is exactly, I think, what we're all talking about. I think we're all on the same page, and I think that's really the point everyone's trying to make, just from a different angle. We want to support each other. We want to build a community. We don't want people to feel ostracized or kicked out or feel like they're not being heard. I think that whatever narrative is out there, which I don't know, it kind of depends on what circles you run in, those narratives might be farther than the truth than you might realize. I can tell you, being in the inner circle for the most part, all everyone is trying to do is to build a project, build a community, and do what's right. All of us have been working with these guys for over a year, and I would actually consider myself friends with him, and I don't really make friends easily, because as soon as someone's toxic to me, it's done. I'm out and I'm over it. But just hearing you guys talk, it gives me a lot of encouragement, because this is what I'm looking for as well. So I appreciate it.
Hey, so none of you guys are BC Billionaire, correct?
Nope, my name is Steven.
Correct. None of us are BC.
Have you guys actually spoken with him? These are just questions that you're gonna get on the daily. Have you actually spoken with him? You've heard his voice?
Nope. Only in text.
Nope.
Over Discord.
Only in text.
Okay. I'm just wondering.
Yep. Until he does something that I would consider actually sketchy or dishonest, there's no reason for me to question anything. And I feel like I can speak for the rest of the guys here. We've all had our concerns as time has gone on about who he is, or at least what his intention is. Part of the excitement of this is there's a lot of unknowns, there's a lot of mystery. And I think as long as that is not shrouded in concern about his intention, which so far I think the point is he's been very upfront and very genuine. He just hasn't made himself known in a picture or in voice, to us at least. Other people, I think he has, but it's that's not anyone that runs in my circle. But I have heard that. But I think the point is, how many people do you trust and know through the Discord that you haven't actually spoke with? That trust takes time to build, especially if you're only reading text. But until I see something that tells me otherwise, I have no reason at this point to question intention.
Yeah, because it's just like an issue that not necessarily like the Kongs community had, because the last founders were actually docs. They were just jackasses. But like some of the other founders and other projects are undocs, and just issues that they run into. I just know that if he were to make himself a little bit more publicly known, it would definitely help him in the long run, as far as winning the outside of the Kongs community, kind of welcoming people back. I know that would help quite a bit. It's just a thought.
Yeah, I hear you. And I don't think you're necessarily incorrect. However, I think there's multiple approaches to get to a similar peak of the mountain, as it were. Just like there's
personally, his last announcement is all he needed to do for me. I don't need his picture. I don't need to know his name. If he just kind of keeps up delivering, and everything that he kind of put in that announcement, it's kind of bold. If he starts delivering on that, I think that's all most of us need, really.
Sure, for sure, 100%.
Yeah, I'm going to jump in there. That's exactly the road that we've been down for just over the last year. We jumped into this into his projects, and same idea. We read some pretty bold statements. And we've certainly been skeptical about it. The questions about us being BCB are actually getting sort of comical to us now, because there has been some point on this journey from all of us where we've all pointed the finger at one of us. Are you sure it's not you? Are you sure it's not you? It's got to be you. We've been very skeptical about it, and we've all come to learn that no, none of us are actually BCB. But whoever it is behind those profile pics definitely has a genuine love for the Cardano community, and definitely has conviction to what he wants to build. We're not. We are part of his extended team. We're not part of the team really behind the scenes. We're not, we don't read the legal documents per se. So, we are, we are a community that's, helping to foster a larger community. And, I want to touch a little bit, I've been doing a lot of listening, but I'm going to touch on the opportunity thing. We have this whole list of, community channels in there, for people, to bond in, motor club, cooking club, gardening club, all of that. These channels can also be used for anybody, by anybody in the community, as a means to start creating their own communities. When I first saw, these channels actually weren't even all available to us in Epic Labs from the get-go. We had to get to a certain point in our journey where all of this unlocked, and I got very excited when it unlocked, because the first things that came to my head was, wow, this is great for anybody that's trying to build something for themselves, and doesn't necessarily have a place to do it, or have a group, have a support group that they can lean on, and get suggestions with. So even in the chilled Kongs, you have a book club. Well, there's plenty of people that do book clubs out there in real life. You meet once a month, you read a book, and you discuss it. There's nothing to say that somebody in our community can't start doing something like that for themselves. There's nothing to say that somebody in our community can't, start some sort of weblog about their gardening experiences in the gardening club. So we've been, every single one of us is actually provided with the potential for opportunity, within this one project. And it's been really great, like growing with these other guys, the other wise ones here, to get to this point. We even have our own discussions from what we've learned from each other about, how can we create our own things out of this project even. So it's all about creating opportunity for more people, and it's all about all of us being there to support each other as we do it. So, is there anybody else that would like to come up and ask a question, maybe? Or perhaps not?
No, but I appreciate the space, guys. You guys have a great rest of your day and Monday for Mopar.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate you.
Thank you. Yes, and thank you, you OGs, for coming up and expressing yourselves, and we hope to see you guys more active back in the Discord again.
Yeah, and I'm not, when I say OG, to be honest, and I'll be honest with you, I don't really say it in the sense of like hierarchy, or like if I'm a somebody or anything like that. It's more like reminiscing back in the day, hanging out with a whole bunch of buddies in the Discord, just having a great time with the community, always talking about different things. That's what I usually mean whenever I say that and stuff.
Well,
They're really great times. I promise they were.
yeah, I feel you, man.
Believe me, we understand that. We absolutely do.
Yeah, I mean, I'm old school, man. As a born and raised in the Bay Area and the California area, this is when I hear OG, it's original gangsta. So there's no sugarcoating that. Like that, it's original gangsta. Period. And so when I hear OGs, I always default to that. So I feel you, man. It's just OG is an excellent example of us embracing family. I think that the OG is our family. That's what it is, and it expands as we get to know one another, as we talk to one another. Like Turbo was saying, we have the different channels that live your life, interact with one another. I'm reading 2 books right now that the authors are people I've been interacting with and talking to over at book.io for the past year. So, that's what's up with this space. That's what's up with this ecosystem, is us learning from one another and growing and saying, oh, well, you're an author? Okay, what's your book? Boom. Go to Amazon, buy it. Now I'm reading it. It's great. Like, this is life. We are living. So that's why we are a community, and we appreciate every single one of y'all. So never forget that we're here for you. You're here for us. It's one community.
100%. One more thing. I'm about to have to take off for a family dinner, but I did want to say, one, thanks for having me up. And two, I would encourage everybody to do the in real life events through Cardano, like the NFTLV or Rare Evo or whatever's coming up. I know that we have the summit coming up, and there's a lot of local events. We're hosting the San Antonio event in Central Texas. I'd love to, be able to meet some of you guys. If there's an opportunity to do that, if you guys can make it, please show up. We'd love to see you. I think we're expecting like 100 people, and it's a small venue, but we've got some really cool things going on in San Antonio, and we want to, show it off and get some support and, get some interaction with the Kongs. We'd love to have you guys.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you for the invitation. I know they're listening, so we'll see what happens. So, Tubaga, thank you for joining us. What have you got to say?
Hello, guys. I just want to say thank you too. I'm speaking from Brazil, so pardon my English or some mistakes on my language. I'd like to talk about a little bit, just a little about BCB being undoxed. I guess for me that's not a problem, and like some of you guys said here, he's like kind of bold on his statements, and I've been on Chilled Kongs for not so much. I bought my first Kong like just before the Magic Kongs mint, and it's been an interesting road, and with like being on the community and looking and participating and feeling all the rush and sometimes like anxiety of from myself and from a lot of people, and at the same time the support and the like the chilled vibes. So it's I guess it's really nice, and it's a new form of setting relations and communications. I just like to say it's been a nice journey, and I hope to see where we will get and what we will get going this way and down this road, right? Just so thank you guys. It's been nice. It's the first time I'm talking on a space, on a Twitter X space. So that's first time for me. And thank you a lot. It's been really good. That's it.
Hey, we appreciate you speaking, and we appreciate you speaking English. You sound great, man. No issues whatsoever.
Yeah, see, Brazilians can actually go on stage and talk to people. Sorry, is that a bad joke? Yeah, you might want to kick Adonis. He's a serial pest. Yeah. Tubag, your English is very good, and it proves that Brazilians can speak in spaces.
Thank you, Mopar.
Thank you for joining us, Tubaga. We love your positivity in the server. It's been a pleasure having you and talking to you in there, and it's great for you to come up and have the courage to say something for the first time. So thank you for that. Mojo, what you got for us?
Hey guys, I want to thank you all for being here. So I want to be mindful of everyone's time. So just a few requests before I start. Please don't be offended by what I say. Don't take anything too seriously, and let's choose discussion over debate. So I've seen the announcement recently, and I seen an update on the copyright notice and an update on the exclusive Kongs collection. So that's awesome on the exclusive Kongs collection. I appreciate that. On the copyright notice, I'm not here to argue that movie Kong is in breach of any copyright infringement. Let's say it is. Now, extremely flattered that the small movie Kong project requires a copyright notice. But I think any legal action at this stage is premature and unnecessary. For all I know, Cardano can fail as a blockchain. Now, what we ended up doing was we gave all the Kongs for free, royalty free. It was difficult for Maz, but it is what it is. What I want to do is we want to move forward. We want to create also more fun stuff that the community loves and enjoy, as we've seen. So how can we move forward?
My best suggestion for moving forward, and I have to say it was noble of you guys to do what you did after having gotten the warning. Like we said, we personally are not on the legal side of it. However, the right way to approach it, my suggestion would be to reaching out to Lord Tavalli and the Benefactor, and stating to them what it is you want to do. And I'm sure they'll be more than happy to give you the proper guidance, to be something, to do something that will, be constructive for the community and, not damage either person's product.
100%. We're not here we don't have any malicious intent. We want to support everyone. We're not going to lie to anyone. We were very clear that saying we're not associated. It's not an OG Kong. So no, we're not there to lie. And if somebody pays extra, we're happy to compensate. We're not bad people. But also, Lord Tavalli has been DM'd. So they know what we want. So if they have any updated response, really appreciate that.
So they are very, very busy people behind the scenes.
Oh.
I have to say this. I have to say this to many people as they DM me for similar requests as well. She is the right hand of the Benefactor, and she handles a lot of business. So like one of the common themes in all of our projects that we deal with here is patience is certainly something of key. So if you have DM'd her, I'm certainly sure that it will be read if it hasn't been read already, and she will address it when she has the appropriate time to do so.
All right, I appreciate.
So I don't. It is yeah. I've never heard of anybody getting ignored. So it's just a matter of when.
No, 100%.
It's not
appreciate
if, but
everybody's
when.
time that they're busy, and managing a project can be very stressful. I absolutely can relate to that. One more thing, and sorry, I just lost track of my thoughts. Just give me a sec. It's going to come back.
No problem. We'll go over to Mr. Baba in the meantime. Good evening, Mr. Baba.
Boot him.
Love it. Love to see it.
The answer's 42, Mr.
I agree.
42.
When it comes
Mojo.
down to it, yeah, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to ask if Mojo had collected his thoughts yet.
No, man, that's really it. Honestly, that's the main thing. Just let's see how we can move forward.
Yeah, for sure. All right, go ahead, 60.
I was just going to make a comment about the gray area when it comes down to these types of concerns and people taking artistic creativity and taking it one direction or another. Often, if it's close enough, you're gonna make a little bit of waves. So if that wasn't expected, it's definitely something that happens quite often in business, especially in music and art. So I don't know. It's always prudent to tread lightly when it comes down to that specifically. So again, not here to debate or point a finger or anything. Just my comment about it.
Yeah, so I think it's actually really good that we've gone through this exercise, or I should say that this exercise is currently in progress as a community, because we're going to encounter this a lot. As you say, 60, this is something that happens, and there is usually a reaction, and then I think what I'm hearing Mojo say is basically they are coming from something that is based in love for the project. And Mojo, I just wanted to reaffirm for you that While yes, Tavali is busy and they don't always get back to everybody in an extremely quick manner, I'm going to throw a little note in our inside group chat just to make sure that your note doesn't get lost, okay?
All right. Thank you. I appreciate that.
All right. So I know we're coming up on the hour here. Well, I guess this might be hour 2. But either way, coming up on the top of the hour, was there anything else that anybody wanted to talk about or bring to our attention? We want everyone to have the chance to be heard and ask any questions that they have.
Yeah, this will be the last shot. We're going on about 2 hours here. So yeah, if anybody has any last words, speak now or forever hold your peace. Well, maybe not forever, but just until the next space.
Appreciate the opportunity to be a part of this community. I know my PFP is a pain to society, and the reason is because I'm from the Epic Labs. Like that's my home base. That's where I came from. So Chilled Kongs is a new member of the family that we're blessed to be a part of. So the Wise Ones title, just so that you all know, we're like glorified moderators, basically. We don't get any more alpha than anything that y'all see, but we just get to interact behind the scenes and every once in a blue moon have opportunities like this to bring communities together and keep the growth going. But any one of you listening today has the opportunity to set yourself apart in the eyes of BCB. They're always watching. They're always reading the chats. They know what's going on, and you set yourself apart, and somehow you'll end up here with us and just as clueless and having a good time rolling with the waves as we're trying to ride them. But yeah, just important enough. Remember, every one of you matter. Every single member of this community and any of the communities are very important. And your voice matters. You as an individual, how you're doing mental health wise, it doesn't matter. If you ever feel alone, please remember to hop into our Discord and know that you will be heard. Someone will talk with you, react, and help live life. Because again, the community is key, is a lot bigger than just a PFP, just an IP address. It's us. It's what makes value of it. Every one of us and how we move forward. So just want to say appreciate it. I'll do the best I can to represent as best I can.
All right. Well, I guess on that note, 60, you have any last words? Doesn't seem like anybody else wants to come up. So I guess I'll say thank you for everybody for joining us today. We appreciate all you that came up and, had your questions. We had some adult conversations here. It's very nice to do that, after listening to a day of yelling at each other on Twitter, which I hope those days will come to an end very soon. It's not constructive. Conversations like this end up getting much further. So once again, appreciate you all. If you haven't come into the Chilled Kong server to see the new life that's been breathed in there, please do. And, one of us is always around in the server to answer your questions or, just to chat and have a conversation. So once again, thank you, everybody. And I think we'll wrap it up here. Have a great evening.